The fans that are sitting actually in front of us, and it's a shame at the half, they were essentially having a dance party.
Yeah. They were rocking with the music here during halftime.
It's a good halftime. You know, we didn't have a halftime show. You know, there's no.
Oh, wait a minute. They
Exactly.
show.
That's what I'm saying. There's no marching band. There were no, cheerleaders or anything like that. We got a chance to just watch the adults, the parents, dancing and having fun and cheering on their kids.
They brought the signs.
I loved it.
And I think a lot of those are the Oyster Bay fans.
It did, and the look that we just had right there were a lot of CSH signs, but it was the Oyster Bay fans that were dancing.
Yeah, they were into it.
Yeah, moms and dads too. Everybody was. All right, we are just seconds in to the second half. Cold Spring Harbor on possession, moving from left to right on your TV screen. There's Lynch, number 9 in white. One of the things that I noticed towards the end, and we talked about it a little bit, it appeared that Cold Spring Harbor started struggling a little bit against the zone defense of Oyster Bay at the end. Oyster Bay cleaned up a lot of their mistakes, their early nerves.
I think that was a big part of it, Keith. These young players for Oyster Bay, their first time on the big stage, I think they were a little nervous, and that got them into the hole early.
Katowski gives it off, and if you're going to have an 8th grader that keeps making saves like that, you're going to stay in the game.
Anytime you can come up with a big save.
4 times though, so.
Anytime you can come up with that big save, though, it really helps your defense, gives them a little bit of confidence, not only in you, but in themselves, knowing that you're there to back them up.
Bounce shot, no good. I wonder at the half if Cold Spring Harbor's head coach Danielle Skakandi reminded them about last year and the year before.
I'm sure she did. I mean, I would think as a coach you're going to tell your girls at this point, remember last year, remember where we were at the number 1 seed last year, not being able to finish.
And before the game, I was eavesdropping a little bit on the pregame huddle for Cold Spring Harbor, and Danielle Skakandi was reading off of her phone, and I couldn't hear exactly what she was saying, so I asked one of the assistants, Lauren Lopez, I'm like, what's she doing? And it was Catherine Ruger, one of the alums who graduated last year and on the team that fell to North Shore twice. Another stop by Vonvest, had sent them a long email, and Coach Skakandi was reading it to them. At the end, they all went into the middle and chanted Cold Spring Harbor and were ready to break.
Well, that little email certainly inspired, I think, the Cold Spring Harbor team to come out strong early in this game.
I love the fight, though, of this Oyster Bay team, too. Lynch came up with the ground ball. Katie Hudson has moved up from her defensive spot now in the attack zone. There's Hudson. Drops it off to Atkinson. Atkinson hounded and loses it.
Big ground ball coming up there for Oyster Bay. Now the question is, are they able to get something going in the offensive half?
Stanko over to Hauser. Now they'll break through. Near side of the field, Shelby Cook. Over to you. This is Michelle. That's Vanessa. The Oyster Bay fan base is looking for a reason to explode. Vanessa, good stick work.
Now you'll notice, Keith, the 2 U sisters, Vanessa and Michelle, now up in their comfortable midfield position. In the first half, they had inverted. They were playing behind the cage. Now you'll notice that Coach Rizzuto brings them up into the midfield area, maybe giving them a little bit more room to be able to attack the cage and use their speed very effectively.
Unforced turnover. On the stick of Haley Crossan. Cold Spring Harbor has not scored since 8:35 to play in the first half. That was an Atkinson goal. This is a goal by a freshman.
That was a pretty goal.
Katowski.
Ashley Lynch getting the assist. looking crossfield, but that all starts off the clear. And you got to give Cold Spring Harbor credit. They did a great job on the clear, and you'll see the pass coming from Ashley Lynch, looking to Kate Katowski, coming off the weak side. There's that backside cut, and she's really right in with an excellent feed. The feed really makes that goal go, but I give credit to the teamwork of Cold Spring Harbor. They break the ride and really effectively come down off a nice clear to get that nice goal and get them on the board early in the second half.
And Gary, Coach thinks that Katowski has a very, very bright future. She's been real impressed with the freshman.
Well, she's got excellent shot placement, just as you saw on that goal there, Keith. She places the ball. She's not afraid to go to the goal. And again, as you just said just a few moments ago, a ninth grader, she does have a nice future. She also gets involved in taking some draw controls, which is real big for Cold Spring Harbor.
Atkinson, now Lynch. Atkinson, whose uncle is Mike Atkinson, the former coach of girls basketball at Sachem, was the head coach when Nicole Kazmarski was playing in Sachem. Holly Logan, 8 meter dead on. Usually a gimme for her, but Valvis has been on fire.
And wow, still on fire. Another big save for Van Bass.
It's not as much of a gimme as like a soccer penalty shot, but when it's a Holly Logan, someone who's so good, you just kind of expect her to find the back of the cage. Now 10 saves for the 8th grader Emily Vombis.
And a couple of those were big saves right before the end of that first half, and this one at the start of the second half. And you hope that if you're an Oyster Bay fan, that those saves really encourage the defense to step it up a little bit now, play a little bit more aggressive, and make the stop defensively.
Michelle Yu.
Getting double team on that weak side, getting no help.
She'll finally release. Now Vanessa has it. Inside of 18 minutes. It's obvious what Cold Spring Harbor's defensive scheme is. If a U touches it, you double them. Vanessa didn't care. She still finds the back of the net.
Up at the midfield area, she's now able to attack the cage. And there comes the double. And she's able to beat the double second and third defender that comes in. Lindsay Wilcox will come into your picture right here, number 2. Looks to go over the head and then wisely holds back. But again, Vanessa Yu really goes hard to the cage. And again, she was their leading goal scorer and point scorer for the Lady Baymen coming into this game. And she's continuing, exerting a little bit of our aggressive play going on to the goal. Coming into today's game, Vanessa had 9 goals in the 2 previous playoff games. 3 and 6. Yeah, 3 and 6 goals.
Cold Spring Harbor cannot answer back again. Atkinson is stopped by Vanvis, her 11th save.
Emily Vombis with the save.
Let's see if they can clear. Yes, they can. Here come the Lady Baymen. Trying to get that momentum shifted their way.
Now, if they can put something together here, get on a little bit of a run, Keith, make a run at Cold Spring Harbor, that will do wonders for the confidence of the young Oyster Bay team.
That shot came from Hauser. Friends and family call her Nikki. Varsity volleyball and track performer as well. Here comes Hannah Kaiser, one of the two seniors.
Double teamed.
Awesome defensive play. But scooped up by Michelle Yu. Yu coming across the green with a goal! It's 10-7.
Coming up with that ground ball was so important after the double team. And there you see Hauser losing the ball, and then Michelle coming up with that ground ball, comes out of a crowd, beats a two in the third defender. Again, Wilcox comes over, a little sidearm shot, kept it down low on crossing, and Michelle Yu brings them within three. And again, it's been a combination of play, Keith. I think it's been a combination of bombast in the goal and some aggressive play at the offensive end of the field for the Lady Baymen.
And a big substitution. Haley Crossan has been taken out. It's Abby Nye. She's a freshman, just 15 saves on the year, first year on the varsity. Coach said she is a feisty goalie. Logan was pushed from behind before the shot.
Oh, they look like they're giving Bombast the save there.
You gotta make that.
And another one.
So if we count those last two, and we will, it's now 13 saves for the 8th grader.
And a little bit more pressure ride.
You know, a great camera shot there by our guys here. You saw her eyes. I just think there's a difference right now for Emily. From early on, she kind of looked like an 8th grader. She, deer in headlights a little bit. That's gone. This is her game now, and she realizes it.
And she's right now, she's in the zone, really, Keith. She's really picking up the ball well.
But how long can she stay in that zone? That's the problem. If you're going to keep giving up these shots, at some point, they're going to break through. And it's Kate Katowski for the second time in the second half.
Now, Katowski's gotten them on the board. The only 2 goals they've had over the second half have come off the stick of Kate Katowski. And nice little dodge move there, takes her in tight. And she's got 2 good looks at the cage. One there, look at that nice little face dodge, and then she takes a bounce shot off stick side. Good placement by Katie Katowski, the freshman, 2-year varsity, first-year starter for the Seahawks.
Oyster Bay has been trailing in the draw control category throughout the day. Here's the 50-50. So now Cold Spring Harbor has won 16 draw controls today.
And another opportunity now for Oyster Bay in the offensive half of the field to see if they can now hold back the momentum that's been created by Cold Spring Harbor.
See, if I'm Oyster Bay, too, I think I want to get a quick shot off.
I just want to say, I want to test this new goalie that they just brought in. See how good she is.
Yu gets doubled, now tripled.
Someone's got to go to help her out.
No release, and Vanessa was begging for it at the top of the box. Lane will hold on. Bounces it behind the cage. Anna Kaiser. Bulldozing her way through, and then she got knocked in the head. And there's a defensive player that got hit as well. That was Lindsay Foxen.
As he's looking as the yellow card was being issued at Lindsay. And there we'll see where the yellow card comes in. I think right there, you see when she goes down, her stick really comes across the face of Hannah.
And I've had this conversation with Tracy Wiener, one of our other color commentators on the network, too. that one I don't love giving a card for. She was falling. And her stick accidentally grazed the face of the opponent. That being said, until you wear helmets, you need to have that protection. And they're not going to helmets. If you just have the goggles, I get why that's a penalty. I just don't like it.
I agree. I mean, there certainly was no intent to stop a shot. It was totally accidental contact on the part of Lindsey Fox, and that's why you saw her look at the official like, me? Did I
don't think she even knew she hit her.
Yeah, I agree.
Jump ball. And it's Alicia Roy. And this is going to be last touch by. I thought it was last touch by Cold Spring Harbor.
I thought so as well.
Yeah, the near official says no, it's off of the Lady Bayman.
And I think Coach Charlie Rizzuto thought it was also off of Cold Spring Harbor, but then again, I would think he would always believe that.
I would think so. A little bit less than a minute and a half to go on the penalty. Katowski throws it high, but it's still picked up by Katie Hudson.
Now you'll notice, I mean, again, Oyster Bay being very passive, not looking at all to try and double up with Cold Spring Harbor being short a man.
Atkinson struggling with it on the ground.
But under no pressure.
Right.
And Oyster Bay's not exerting any pressure. They're staying very passive in their zone. Cold Spring Harbor clearly being able to eat away off this man-short player.
On the cross of Brooke Jensen, who was questionable as if she would play today. The verbal commit to UConn. So number 8 in white is on the field.
And we killed off the penalty, says Cold Spring Harbor. See, at that particular point, I would have liked to have seen Oyster Bay be more aggressive, look to double the ball. You're trailing by 4 goals and you're coming up to the 11-minute mark. You want to be able to come up with some possession, and possession is very important. And they were very passive. And another great save.
Goodness gracious.
Another big save by Bombas.
Whether Oyster Bay can win this game or not, Emily Vonvis is going to have a day that you will remember forever. Oyster Bay with the ball.
Go here.
Cook on the near side. Coming across, and Nile just pick it up off the turf. But a foul called, and Nicole Hauser should get the 8-meter. Hauser, pretty good angle here. Bounces it. And Abby Nye, easy stop.
I think that perhaps Hauser's stick might have gotten checked just as she was ready to take that shot, Keith, because it came out, the ball came out just a little too soft for me to be able to say that that was a clean shot.
I didn't remember when he was actually flying.
So with that said, I think you have to give some credit to the defense of Cold Spring Harbor to be able to come
Lindsay
in.
Wilcox. Cold Spring Harbor once led this game 9-2. That was with 8 minutes and 35 seconds to play in the first half. So Oyster Bay since then outscored them 5-2. And it's not for the effort of Cold Spring Harbor. Listen, they are getting a lot of shots.
A lot of shots. What do they have at the half? 17 shots?
Yes, and how many shots in the
16
second
on
half?
goal?
11 more in the second half now, so we're at 28 total for Cold Spring Harbor. Have we been working so long that we finish each other's sentences now? Is that what's happening here? Yeah, 14 saves for Emily Von Vess.
This is going to be certainly one of her big days in the goal. Coming up with 14, and I'm sure she's going to see a few more shots come her way with the last 8.5 minutes or so.
Good job by our statistician, Mark Tan, on the spot with the saves and the shots for us.
And I think we give her another save right there.
Let's make it 15 now.
Roll dodge right in off the crease area.
Turnover on the ride. This time they cannot stop Logan. Logan may be the player that just has to take over.
Well, why wouldn't she, Keith? She's a two-time All-County player. You know, if you need a goal, I'm going to go to my All-County player. And it's the ride that creates the turnover. Her effort, look at her effort, banking on 2 and 3 defensive players. She is a great split dodger. She's able to come up with the ground balls. And she just does the job between the 30s. She's really an excellent player at the midfield for this Cold Spring Harbor team. She really runs the show, runs the offense off the midfield.
Her third goal of the evening. Back into the draw circle, where Cold Spring Harbor has won 16 of 20 attempts, making 17 of 21.
That's just an overwhelming statistic.
And ultimately, that's going to end up being, if Cold Spring Harbor wins, the reason why they do. They get all the extra possessions, they're getting all the extra shots, even though Von Vess has played her tail off.
Oh my gosh, yes. She has been just on another planet with some of those great saves for Emily.
You can't ask more of her than what you've got. Oyster Bay's defense at times has started to look tired now, because Cold Spring Harbor, like you said, they run that long, delayed, very deliberate offense.
And forces the backer to make some long runs off the slide. And they're playing a lot of defense, too. I mean, the possession time has been all in Cold Spring Harbor, which really, again, puts a lot of pressure on the defense. Because they're playing so much defense, it's hard to get a break when the ball comes down to the offensive half of the field.
Nearing the 7-minute marker. Here's Brooke Jensen as whistles blow. Cold Spring Harbor up by 5.
Here we go!